Perhaps one of the most annoying things in the world is a booger. And they always seem to happen at some of the worst opportunities. Because it doesn't really matter where you're at. If you start feeling one, it's got to come out. And usually you're not around the restroom. You usually don't have a tissue. But you're like, oh, it needs to come out. Oh no, you can't stay. Rent is overdue. So you're kind of like in the situation where you're like, well, I don't want people to see me pick it. So you start doing the whole like wipe thing. Wiping is fine. As soon as there's penetration, that's no longer okay. But you start doing the hell yeah, and then maybe you'll try and like sneak a knuckle in there, and then you'll just be like, oh no, I'm just resting my head. And then you'll just be like kind of checking to see if you ever get it. And then eventually you might just like sneak it in there, and then you'll just get it, and then you'll be like, oh yes, okay, it's out. But then there's phase 2, the disposal. Are you gonna try and wipe it or something? You're gonna try and flick it off? The flicking is the fun part. It's always really fun to me because not only are you like trying to flick it off, but it's also sticky. So it's just, you're trying to flick it off, and then you're like on this one, and you're trying to flick, and then oh god, it's gone back and forth. It's like a game of table tennis on your fingers. But the best one is when you have to go jazz hands. You're like, just trying to get the freaking thing off. It's always at the best opportune moments because while you're doing this, there's some guy on the sidelines just watching going, been there, done it. And then the other situation, of course, is you don't even know it's there. It's down here where there's no feeling at all. It's kind of stupid. And then you just got your best friend come over, and he's just like, hey, you got a little something right here. And then you're just like, how long has it been there? I had a job interview earlier today, and there's no way I'm getting hired now. The boss is going to think that I have boogers hanging out my nose all the time. Boogers. Am I right? Welcome to the Fat and Happy Show, everybody. Hello and welcome back, everyone, to the Fat and Happy Show. Come on, man, take off your pants and let's have a bowl of cereal. Where today, as many times as I've had it, I want to go back to him. It's kind of like a really bad ex. You just want to keep going back to him, even though you know they're bad for you. Well, at least that's kind of how it seems to be in most movies. No, Teresa. No, don't go back to him. He's only going to break your heart. Oh. Right. I forgot you were going to join us for this episode. Come on in. You already took off your pants. Would you like to have a bowl of milk? Because you can't have the cereal. It's nice to have company. But yeah, welcome to the show, everybody. Hopefully you guys had a fantastic Friday. You guys getting ready for the weekend. A little bit of downtime away from the work week. Now, see, the funny thing is, if I work in retail, I don't have weekends. Ever. Weekends are overrated to me. If I had 2 days off in a row, I wouldn't know what to do with myself. But anyways, I think it's time we get back into the grooves of things with some good news. Now, the good news today is that the Ps5 was finally announced, with the official looks of it being It looks futuristic and space age, which is personally a look that I love. It's very SpaceX looking. If you were to have that thing on this Dragon capsule, it would look perfectly normal. It looks good. But it doesn't really match with a lot of current housing. It's too futuristic for what most houses have now. Like in my house, it would look freaking weird. So I think that they should have taken a little bit more time into thinking about the actual practicality of the design in houses. The overall design practicality with like how it works with the vents coming in it, it's going to prevent overheating. Absolutely. It's a beautiful design for that. But it just isn't that friendly for just out in the open, blah, blah, blah. Where you have something like the new Xbox coming out, it's very brick-like. It can blend in with essentially any living room. It really doesn't have anything that's like, ooh, look how futuristic it is. It's just a black box. And I like the simplicity of that more than I like this new complex PlayStation. And the whole thing that they still haven't shown the price of it is a little concerning. And then tossed on top of that, the fact that they didn't show anything with the VR. I'm not that happy. A lot of the games as well are not going to be console exclusive. So I'm like, what was really the point of this, PlayStation? You could have just posted a picture. of the console online, and everyone would have been just as happy. I don't really understand. So hopefully the next time that we see something, we get a freaking price, we get the VRR improvements announced, and hopefully we just get a little bit more information about this. And the fact that they said that a console had horsepower is very stupid to me. I don't understand why you would say a little computer has horsepower when it really doesn't. Cars have horsepower. That console is not going to be moving anything. Regardless, that is the good news of today, is that we have a new console on the way. But the bad news of the day is stupid to me as well. Cops, Live PD, and now potentially Paw Patrol are all getting canceled. And to me, this is not good. A lot of my childhood was grown, like, I grew up watching Cops. I was like, oh, look at this car chase. It's so cool and exciting. Still excites me to this day. I love watching Cops chase cars. It's thrilling. It's kind of like a NASCAR race, except with more right. And then you go ahead and you have Live PD. Live PD showed me a lot of what it's like to be a cop firsthand, of where you are scared. You don't know what that person is going to be doing. You don't know if they have a gun. You don't know what they're going to do. And you have to take precautions. It shows a lot more on the first-hand experience of what a cop has to think and what they have to go through first-hand experience. And it's all live. Those two shows being canceled for sure really upset me, because I don't feel they did anything wrong. Cops are just getting a negative impression now, and now these innocent TV shows are getting the fallout from drama that doesn't really need to be happening right now. Not all cops are bad, and that's kind of the impression everybody is getting now. There are corrupt cops. That is known. Things are going in the right direction to improve this. Take a look at Minneapolis. So I don't think that getting rid of these shows is going to improve anything. But it is up to them on what they want to do. But I think that this is kind of a negative fallout to things, and it's just kind of a setback. A lot of people with those shows are now going to be out of the job too. I mean, those were major productions, so I don't agree with it, and I'm unhappy about it, but it is what it is. And then we have Paw Patrol here is also getting fallout from these protesters. It's a cartoon dog. It's a cartoon dog wearing a cop outfit trying to demonstrate what cops do. What? It's on Nickelodeon. It's cute. It's a dog in a... I don't know. I don't know. I does not know. Dog has no race. Dog has no preference. Dog does not care. Dog doesn't even exist. Why are you attacking a Nickelodeon show? I don't understand. Are cops not going to be allowed to be portrayed on TV shows at all anymore? That's the question I want to know. Is, are we going to have sensitivity to the point where we have to censor cops out? Is it going to be instant PG-13 if a cop is shown in a movie? Or is it even going to be rated R? That's the questions I want to know. How far are we going with this whole cop thing? Cops are being portrayed as the bad guy, which I find to be kind of ironic. Because there was a cop who was doing an interview on TV about how cops are being portrayed in a negative fashion. And the funny thing is if you take his whole thing and you apply it to Black Lives Matter, that's exactly how Black Lives have felt for a long time. They are not the bad guy, but they're portrayed as the bad guy with their ghettos and whatnot. So the fact that the cops are now feeling this, it's kind of like, now you know how it feels, huh? Don't you guys? So it's just kind of ironic. I wish people would stop fighting with the police so much and trying to poke the bear so much, because you're poking a bear that I don't think is going to go away countrywide. As long as Trump is president, he's not going to let the cops get beaten up like this. He won't. If it was Biden maybe. I think Biden's also against dissolving police departments or disbanding. But regardless, I don't like getting on topics like this. Just leave the cartoon dog alone, okay? You already took down 2 other things. Don't take down Paw Patrol, okay? Too many kids love that show. And if you take something away from a kid, they're going to cry. Do you want a bunch of crying kids across the country? I don't think so. Alright, so enough about cartoon dogs and blah, blah, blah. Let's get on to the awesome act of the day, shall we? Now, the awesome act of the day is kind of gross to me, but good on him. There's a baby deer that was found floating in a river, and 2 nearby Samaritans boating decided that they would try and help this deer out. Upon pulling the deer out of the lake, they ended up finding out that it wasn't breathing. But they said something about its eyes made them feel like it still had life. So upon administering CPR, yes, mouth-to-mouth CPR, for a couple of minutes, they were able to get the baby deer back to breathing, and they were able to get it back alive. And they later dropped it off to an animal sanctuary. Look, I like baby deers as much as the next person, but Bambi didn't need a makeout session. Okay, that's a little gross to me, and if these people get like some new weird disease that leads to the death of America just like COVID, I would not be surprised at all. But just saying, really? Yo man, this deer's not gonna make it. Not if I have anything to do with it. Bring Bambi over here. I mean, the whole mouth-to-mouth. There's video of the mouth-to-mouth. I'm just like, oh my god, there's so many germs. It's not okay. It's not in Houston. No. Furries would have loved to see that video, and I guarantee you some people are probably watching it. We're just going to go from weird news into a weird joke with our dad joke of the day. Now, I'm not really one much for reading, but this new book I started reading about anti-gravity, I just can't put it down.
Wow.
You don't get much better than that when it comes to a dad joke.
You are not the father.
I mean, even I would agree that that joke is terrible.
Ladies and gentlemen, he can be taught.
And now on to the pet photo of the day, which is... I love golden retrievers. I really do. Like, if I couldn't get a corgi, I would go for a golden retriever because they're just such cute dogs. We got Gracie with her little bows in her ear and the bandana. She's so cute. That's such a good girl. And I believe she's been a mom twice. I think she's had 2 litters if I'm remembering correctly. But she is a good girl. 11 out of 10. Good boy, good girl. What do you say? Do we refer to all dogs and cats as good boys, or do we differentiate between good boys and good girls? I've never known that one. And finally, we got our 2 cents moment of the day. Now is the part of the show where Kyle gives his 2 cents. When chatting with other people, you might find yourself in a harsh predicament. And by that I mean, you may have different opinions, especially with nowadays. You might find yourself wanting to talk about, for example, cops, and how somebody may dislike them for one reason, but then you may have the opinion that you do like them. But maybe it's best to let them have their opinion, rather than trying to propose your own upon them. Letting each other have your own opinions is very, very healthy, and is probably better off. I would absolutely agree that conversation helps make the world go round. But if someone doesn't want to change their opinion and are a little bit more on the stubborn side, maybe it is best to just let them be. And to be quite honest, there's a lot of people right now who are having to do just that. They have to compromise, and they just have to be like, okay, I'm not going to say anything else because I know it's not going to get anywhere. But if you want to go ahead and pursue having your opinion heard with someone with a different view, do it in a polite manner. There's plenty of ways to have a good conversation, but you're going to reach very, very touchy subjects such as the LGBT community, and then you have the Black Lives Matter community right now. It's stuff where you will cause more harm to yourself than you would probably gain with satisfaction of trying to get your point across. AKA, just don't do it. I'm still on my vow of keeping my silence and just eating my cereal. And let me tell you what, it's going pretty good. The only place where I speak at all is right here. This is my home. This is where I'm comfortable. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, this is the 2nd full week in a row where the Fat and Happy Show has been completed. And oh boy, am I excited to have 2 days off. And I want to have some good news pop up next week. Some really good news because I have a feeling that next week we're going to get some bad news in the form of new COVID outbreaks. That's my prediction. Usually takes about 2 weeks for COVID to come out, and the Black Lives Matter movement happened about 2 weeks ago. It's like really been going. So I think right now is when we're going to be seeing the huge spikes come up. And who knows what'll happen. We might have some more lockdowns. I hope not, but that's something I'm looking at as a potential. But hopefully you guys all had great Fridays. Hopefully you guys got a little fatter and happier with me. And I will see you guys back here for Monday's episode. Good night.